Newsletters are very hot right now in 2024, and people are starting to see the power of having an email newsletter for their business or content creation as well. So in this video, I want to share with you how you can start to build an email newsletter starting today just by following this video. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through of how to build an email newsletter using my favorite email service provider right now. So let's start. So one of the first things, of course, before we start building a newsletter, right, is to know what you want to write about, right? So this is like I got a lot of emails like from email subscribers from my newsletter about newsletters, about, they want to start a newsletter, but they don't know what to write about, right? That's the number one question. And so what I tell people are usually is to write about things that, they enjoy to read about, talk about, and create about, right? But then they're like, what happens if I don't like to write about that like in 2 months, right? Then that's an easy fix, right? You could pivot. And so I think a lot of people get stuck in this mindset that, you have to only write about a certain niche when you're starting out your newsletter. And that's not the case. Like, in 6 months you could switch if you want to something else, right? Your email, right? You could just, update your email subscribers and tell them, hey, like, I'm no longer interested in this subject, I'm now moving to this subject. If you want to unsubscribe, you can unsubscribe. It's that simple, right? So the next thing, of course, is choosing the right SP or email service provider. I think you saw in the video, right, which one I'm going to choose, right? So there's a ton of email service providers that you can choose from that, it doesn't matter which one you choose from, as long as you just choose the one that works for you. So we have the top three here that like I consider the top three, right? So we have Substack, right, which is, a very popular and one of the OG newsletters ESPs here, right, that allows creators to quickly create an email newsletter, right? And, there's a lot of great email newsletters I'm subscribed to that are from Substack. And then, of course, we have here is ConvertKit, right? This is like probably one of the more popular ones, right? For a lot of creators who have maybe like online products that they sell, right? And a lot of great automation tools ConvertKit has. And some of the biggest like newsletter creators, right? Sahil Bloom, right? Use ConvertKit, Tim Ferriss as well. So, you're in good hands if you choose ConvertKit as well. And then, of course, my go-to email service provider is right now is beehiiv, right? This is mine. A lot of big newsletters as well are using beehiiv, right? It's like, one of my favorite ones, Arnold, Mix Excel, Milk Road. So you're in good hands also if you choose like beehiiv. And one of the best things about this is that you don't need to worry about like being stuck to one platform, right? You can export that list and move it to another list. So it doesn't matter which one you choose when you decide to start your email newsletter. So for this video, of course, we're going to be building an email newsletter with beehiiv. And why beehiiv? Well, first off, it's a very easy tool to get started on. It's the free option is one of my favorite things about it. And also it reminds me about Shopify. Like, how Shopify made it really easy for you to build an online store? Well, that's what beehiiv is doing, but for newsletters. It just makes it so simple to start an email newsletter that, it just makes sense to start one. So, like I said, top newsletters, right? Like the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Milk Road, right? And Newsletter Circle. And of course, my newsletter as well is also hosted on beehiiv. And like I said, one of the best things about it is the pricing is just very affordable. And if you just use the free plan, there's so much things that you could get out of it under the free plan as well. All right. All right. So this is how it looks, the dashboard, when you make a beehiiv newsletter. Now I'm just using a dummy account here that I created, right, a while back. And so this is the dashboard pretty much of where you will be running your email newsletter on beehiiv. So one of the first things you want to do when you have your newsletter on beehiiv is to go to under the right section and click on post. And then you're going to want to go to right here, you just go to use template. So you're going to want to create an email template just because it will make it so much more easier for you when you're starting out your email newsletter, because you could just go in and fill in the blanks and you'll know what type of content you want to share every single week. So you're going to create a template, right? We're going to call this main 4, right? And so here is the editor, right, of your template, right? So let's just say that this one is going to be an H1 heading, right? This is where the title is going to go of the newsletter, right? And then I'm going to click Shift, Enter, like that, because if I click just Enter, it's going to give me a big space, but if I hold down on Shift, it's going to give me a nice little, it's not going to give me a big space, right? So now I'm just going to write by, and then I'm going to fix that size of the font. So we're going to just click here, and then what we're going to do is click here. Oh, so it looks like it's not going to let me. It would let me actually, but I guess I'm going to have to just click Enter again. So we're going to just fix this to be center, right? And there we go. And then this is going to be, oh, we're just going to start fresh. Okay, so we're going to just click H1, right? So this is the title section, right? Now, here is where we're going to click on I and Daniel, and we're going to center this, right? So now, anytime I create this could be a template, right? Now, text, right? Click there. There we go. Okay. So I want this, of course, centered, right? Which makes it look nice and a little bit organized, right? And then, of course, by, so that if you want to have, like every week, you want to know who wrote the newsletter, you can have this, you could maybe add the date as well. Like you could go add date as well, so that people know what day that newsletter was sent out. So you can have sections, right? So that's what I like about having it. So like we could call this, the introduction section. So H2, right? Introduction section. So, this could be the area of where you're going to just write a quick introduction, right? A quick introduction about the newsletter issue. Introduction, right? And then you can have maybe double space it, right? To have another section called, right? You can have this called like the main section, right? The deep dive. So we'll just call this like deep dive. This is where, you could write the main issue, like the main newsletter piece. I can spell piece, right? And then of course you could end it up with like another section if you want, right? So this will just give you easy, and then we could have like 1, 2 pointers here, right? We could have like a curated section as well, right? Curation section. We'll call this one H2, right? So this is where all your current section. So like this is like some of the newsletters that maybe you're subscribed to if you know Tim Ferriss, or other newsletters where they share with you links of interesting web articles or videos or music that they're listening to, and then so you could just have like bullet points or like number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So, and then like to end it off, right? You could just have like conclusion, right? And so we're gonna just click, section 2, and just this could be like your ending piece. Oops, I can't spell your ending piece, right? So now I have like a basic template, right? I'm gonna save it now. But now I have the option to use this template every single week, right? So, and I'm inside the editor, right? And that's it, right? So it's very easy to create a template, and this will just make it so much more easier for you to know what you want to write about, what you want to share every single week, right? So if you want to share a deep dive, right? Or maybe you just want to share links with your email subscribers of what they should read or watch, videos they should watch, or music they should listen to, and your conclusion piece. That's it, right? So that's pretty much it on how to create an email template, which I recommend you do before you even send out your first email newsletter, because this will save you so much more time. Now, the next thing, of course, is to walk you through the editor here. So this, of course, is the beehiiv editor. This is where you're going to spend most of your time when you're finalizing and edit all your things when it comes to the beehiiv newsletter. So what I like about this is that like it kind of like reminds me of Notion, the editor, right? Because I can just click the slash, right, and it just launches all the features that I could use. So since this account I'm using is the free version, right? The paid version is locked me from these features, but I think I'll be able to log in from my main account and just show you. So of course we have the bullet list, right, which I showed you, your images. So if you want to upload images, you can into your newsletter. So what I like is that it integrates with Giphy and Unsplash. So you can use from library and go to Unsplash, right? So let's say I want to choose something editorial, right? And then like, let's say I want to choose this awesome image right here, right? And what I like about this is that you could customize it as well. So like you could change the borders and change the radius. Like I like rounded images. So look how nice that looks now. And then of course you could choose like a thickness outside that outlines it with colors or dash or solid, right? But I'm not gonna touch that. And then the image size. So you could change it, either typing it or like, just clicking like that to click it. And what I like about it, it already tells you what source it is, right? It gives credit to the person who took this picture and the area where you got it from. So you don't need to worry about that as well. And then of course we have is the block quotes, right? So block quotes is just a quote section. So like this is a quote, which is great if you're like maybe writing a long piece and then you want to quote something, right, like that somebody famous said about like that topic that you're writing about in your, right? And this was said by Daniel, right? And then what I like about it is you have like different ways that you could view it. So like if you want this version, you can. If you want this version, you can. Or if you want the quote section like that, I like this one, just really nice, looks really nice. But if you want to keep it simple, you can. And what I like about it is that you could preview it, which one you like, right? So like, it just gives you an easy way to, just quickly see how it's going to look before you publish it. And then moving on, we have, of course, columns, right? So that means you could divide, you could have sections, right? Maybe you have like an image or a product that you sell, right? You can have product one, product two, right? So let's show you, right? So product one, product two. And then what's cool is that like inside you can add images, right? So like we'll add an image here. You can add an image here as well, right? So that means like if you have something to sell, right, the people can quickly click on the image and go to that product if you're selling something. So that's really useful. That's why I like the column feature. You can use it for other things as well, like your imagination, like it's the only thing that's stopping you. So we continue. We have number list, right? Code block. I'm not gonna go into too much detail in that section just because I'm not really a coder developer, so I don't really use this. Horizontal rule, right? So this is very great. So if you want to divide sections, so like, let's say I want to divide the introduction section between the deep dive, right? I could quickly just, enter a line, right? So that people know that is another section now, right? So it gives me that option right there that makes it look really nice, right? So that, it just makes it nice and simple to be able to understand. And then moving on, we have, of course, if I keep going deeper here, right? We have the subscriber break as well. And then we have buttons, right? So you have like a custom button. So like if you wanted to, like, if you want to take the subscriber somewhere else, you could have them click that button or like see my recommendations, right? So if you have newsletters that you recommend, you can share those newsletters as well. Or you can also have like, unsubscribe, right? So like if you want to just have the person unsubscribe, give them the option, you can do that as well. Or you can have like the subscribe button as well. So that if maybe there people are reading it in the web, people can subscribe to your email newsletter as well. And then moving on, of course, we have the table section, which is really nice. And then my favorite section, I think, is the section, like the section piece of the editor, right? So this is where you can have like, a whole section of things. So let's say I want to have like section, section one, right? Then I have a section here, right? This is a section. And then this could have like contains an image, right? Maybe this section, right? It can also contain maybe, quote as well. So you can have like a section. What I like about this is that you can move this around too. Like if you want, you can like move it up there and then you have a section right there. And then this could like, I don't want to add that piece, so we can delete this. You can also edit it, right? So like visual settings, and you can have this into like have a border. So let's say I want this to be, I like rounded edges, so click here. Then spacing, we're gonna choose maybe 10. So that just looks a little bit nicer, right? And then if I click preview, right, section, so it's not showing, right, because I didn't have a border yet. So usability, oops. We're gonna click on visual settings, right, border and color, right, and then there you go, right? So that's the border right here. And you can see it's rounded, right, which is really awesome. And then of course, another thing before I forget, right, you have your visibility. So this is great if you have like, if you want to only show people this section, maybe to email users, right? So you can turn this off and only email users will be able to see this, or like free subscribers or paid subscribers. So, you can customize it, play around with it to see maybe you want to hide this section to web users because you want them to subscribe, right? So you can have this turned on and have this turned off as well. And then moving on, of course, we have after the section, right, we have table of contents. So this is great if you have like a long piece of newsletter, right? So like, let's go back to the top and create a table of content, right? So you can have like, see, as you can see, it already did it automatically because like the H2, right? So everything is anchored. So if I click here, it takes me to deep dive, which is really awesome, right? Or like if people, so this is great for people if you want to like that, you give options to people to like, go to their favorite section. So maybe people don't really like to read your deep dives, but they like to create a section, right, of interesting finds that you find for them. So you can click here and it'll take them right there. So that's awesome in the editor here. And then moving on, we have, of course, is headings, right? Which you know what they do, right? H1, H2, H3, right? Then what is also cool is that you can embed tweets, right? TikTok videos, YouTube videos, Instagram account, photos as well. And then the premium section, you have AI, right? So you want to see that. If you want to see the premium features, let me know in the comments below and I'll make a video about it, how you can use this, which is really awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this editor part. And then of course you have your post settings, right? So here's where the title will go. So if you want to show in the email, you can. If not, then you can have it off, right? Then subtitle, which author created this piece. So if you want to add multiple authors, you can. The guest author, right? And then you can customize it for the email, right? So here's your subject line of what people will see when it lands in the inbox, right? The preview text as well. And then you have more advanced stuff here. Then the website, right? So if you want to add a thumbnail, you can add a thumbnail to this post for like on the web. So for the blog section of this, right? And then we have SEO as well and deliverability. So if you want, you could like customize it where you only send it maybe like if you have a paid newsletter, you can have it sent to only paid users, this email newsletter, or if it's free, send it to everybody. So you could customize it who you want to send it from here, which is really awesome. And let's say like I really like this template and I like, I don't want to like create it again. You could like save the template here, right? And we could call this like main 5, right? And save and continue, right? So it saved this template so that I could go in and edit it and just, remove some of the stuff that I liked about it. And then of course you could customize it where you could just focus on like just writing the piece, right? I like working like this with me. And then one of my favorite things, of course, is the preview section. You can see how it looks on mobile, right? Because you want to make sure it's optimized your newsletter for mobile because like a lot of people read their emails on that. So you can see how it will look on mobile as well, which is very, very important. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it on how to create an email newsletter and how to build an email newsletter like today, right, with beehiiv. And as you can see, like after I'm done, I can schedule it, right? And then either choose publish now or schedule and just, select the day and time that works for me, review, build your first newsletter right now. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer any of them or even make a video about that. So until then, I will see you guys later. Peace.